AITA for slapping my niece after she told my son that he is adopted. I never thought a moment of pride could turn into a family feud. But that's exactly what happened that day. It all started with Gabriel. My son, my beautiful boy, had just been chosen to represent his school at a youth press conference. It was a big deal. A milestone I had dreamed about when I first held him in my arms as a newborn. I had longed for a child for years. And after I found out I couldn't have one of my own, adoption had been my only path to motherhood. When Gabriel came into my life, it felt like all the dreams I had once let go of were suddenly possible again. We'd decided to tell him when he was older, to explain his adoption when he could understand it. It was a decision we'd wrestled with, but it felt like the right one. He was only 8, after all, and we didn't want him to feel different or unimportant. But sometimes secrets have a way of eating at you, especially when they're not yours to keep. At the family reunion, we were thrilled to share the news about Gabriel. My husband and I were practically beaming as we told everyone about the press conference and all the wonderful things that had come with it. Gabriel, being his usual modest self, was happy but a little shy with all the attention. That's when Ellen chose to step in, as she often did, with her sharp tongue and relentless need for the spotlight. My niece, who had always found a way to make everything about her, could not stand that Gabriel was being praised. I had noticed it before how she would somehow twist every conversation back to herself when the focus wasn't on her. She would interrupt stories, make random comments, or perform some ridiculous stunt, just so she could hear herself talk. But that day, with Gabriel shining, Ellen couldn't hold back. She looked straight at him, her voice dripping with sarcasm, and said, "You know, you're adopted, right?" The room fell silent, and for a moment, I thought I had misheard her. Gabriel froze, his face a mixture of confusion and hurt. I saw his little eyes flicker toward me, as if searching for some kind of reassurance. I could feel the blood drain from my face, my heart pounding in my chest. I had never prepared for this moment. We hadn't even told Gabriel yet, and now Ellen had thrown it into the open like a bomb. My mind raced. How could she be so cruel, so thoughtless? I stood up, the anger rising in me like a tidal wave. Without thinking, I slapped Ellen across the face. The sound echoed through the room, and I could feel everyone's eyes on me. Ellen's mouth hung open, shocked by my reaction. For a second, she seemed to not know what to do with herself. Then, she stormed off, muttering something under her breath. I turned to Gabriel, my heart breaking for him. I kneeled in front of him, brushing his hair from his forehead, trying to comfort him with all the love I could pour into a touch. "Gabriel, sweetheart, you are loved," I whispered, my voice shaking. "You are so loved, and nothing will ever change that." The rest of the family was in stunned silence, no one quite sure what to say. My sister-in-law, Ellen's mother, was the first to speak, but her words didn't bring any comfort. She tried to apologize for Ellen's behavior, but I could tell she was more concerned about how my slap might affect her daughter than the hurt Ellen had caused. I, my husband, and Gabriel went out first. We told Gabriel the whole truth about how I wasn't able to give birth, so we planned on adopting a child. We never regretted that we chose him, our beloved child who grew up to be such a kind and loving person. Fortunately, Gabriel took this maturely. He did not get angry at us for hiding the truth. He was just relieved that these words finally came out of our mouths. It is truly surprising for him to say that, knowing that he is just 8 years old. We are really proud of him. We approached Ellen and my sister-in-law days later just to clear things up. I apologized to Ellen for slapping her. She accepted the apology and they left. However, things became awkward for us, and we were not able to restore our past relationship with them, though. I can't say that we were very close in the first place.